Today is the 5th Sunday of Lent, Cycle A. The first reading, the prophet Ezekiel was writing to the people of Judah who had been defeated by the Babylonians. They had placed their trust in worldly alliances, especially the hope that Egypt would come to their assistance rather than in God. They forgot that many times God had given them victory or spared them even when their soldiers were vastly outnumbered. The city of Jerusalem and the temple had been destroyed, and the leaders and the skilled craftsmen were sent into exile. God had shown Ezekiel the image of dry bones coming back to life. The bones grew sinews, tissues that tie the muscle to the bone, followed by muscle, flesh, and then skin. The dead were eventually restored to life. The vision was symbolic of the restoration of a nation that believed it had been abandoned by God and forgotten in his eyes. However, the psalm says, with the Lord there is mercy and redemption. Moreover, it was meant to give hope to those who felt abandoned by God. There was another symbolism in the Ezekiel story. God created Adam from lifeless clay, then he blew his breath into him. It is the Spirit of God that restored the bones to life. We have received the Spirit of God at baptism, more of the Spirit at confirmation. We have the power of the Spirit within us. We have to learn how to handle His power, that we may restore our lives, the fullness in the Spirit. According to Carol Moreau, the readings from St. Paul to the Romans can be summarized as follows. Death equals if we allow the desires of the flesh to rule over us, and we do not please God. Sin brings spiritual death into our lives. Life equals true baptism in the Lord. Our mortal bodies gain a new life by the power of the Spirit of Christ dwelling with us. The Spirit enables us to resist temptation and avoid sin. The story of Lazarus reveals who Jesus really is. He is the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in him shall never die eternally. Jesus has the power to give life. The restoration of Lazarus is a foretaste of the resurrection. To enjoy the resurrection to eternal life, Lazarus would have to die again. Martha and Mary had sent a message to Jesus to come as soon as possible as their brother was ill. Rather than travel immediately to see Lazarus, Jesus deliberately delayed his departure with the hope that Lazarus would indeed die. Jesus wanted to demonstrate his ability to restore life to the dead. Mary's reaction to his delay, during which her brother had died, was to refuse to go out of the house to greet him. Sometimes we do not know what God is planning, and we can become angry when he does not do exactly what we ask. We can begin to lose our faith while he is planning something better for us. have to continue to trust God even when he seems to have disappointed us. Jesus would later raise her brother from the dead, something she could not imagine was possible. When Mary eventually went out to meet Jesus, she complained, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Martha, on the other hand, while she complained to Jesus, she still expressed faith. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now, I know that whatever you ask of God, God will give you." God does not always restore the situation to its original state. But when an evil act is committed against us, as in the case of a drunk driver who kills someone dear to us, if we stay close to him, he does help us through our pain and suffering and can lead us to a brighter place. Why did Jesus weep when everything seemed to be going as he planned and wished? The death of Lazarus was not a surprise for him. Jesus is upset because he wanted to demonstrate the glory of his Father and to show the people a foretaste of the resurrection by restoring Lazarus to life. However, everyone was complaining. Even the crowd asked why he who opened the eyes of the blind man could not have healed Lazarus. Jesus therefore prayed aloud for the crowd to hear. Nothing hurts Jesus more than when we complain while he is still working for our good. Sometimes we have to wait in silence and trust in God. When Lazarus was brought back to life, everyone must have been amazed and rejoiced. When Jesus called Lazarus from the dead, from his tomb, he came out still bound by burial garments. Jesus had to ask others to help him to untie him. Symbolically, Jesus can call our loved ones and friends back to life from the tomb of addiction or slavery to sin. But he, Jesus, still needs the help of others, yourselves, to untie him.